Welcome back to another episode of Key Factors Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Jones, and we are sponsored by ReviewMyMortgage.com, the largest index of mortgage programs nationally. And today I wanted to bring on a guest that is pretty honed in on what's going on with our market, what has happened in the recent time frame, and how our market in general has changed. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Martin Tirado. And he's with the Martin Tirado Real Estate Group with Real Brokers.
All right. Yep.
There you go. So, Martin, how you doing, brother?
Doing good. Doing really good. I was actually really excited about this.
I hope so. We're doing our best to bring as much as we can to our current market of San Antonio, Texas, surrounding, and what's happening is this is getting some exposure that's going national.
Oh, absolutely.
So as we're discussing and having these discussions, I want to bring current events to the table. But before we do that, I do want to make sure that the folks listening know who they're getting their insight from. If you don't mind, tell us a little bit about yourself. Take us to the beginning. How did you get into this? What did you do right before real estate? And as I know, you've grown a team that is kicking tail.
Yeah, we're doing well. We're doing well. And too, like I always appreciate, a lot of the great shout outs. One of the things that I do tell a lot of my the people that say, "Oh man, you're killing it." I said, "Yeah, but we could do a little better," just because I feel like there's always that extra notch that we can keep going up. But my name is Martin Tirado. I've been in real estate for 9 years now. It'll be 10 years in November. So pretty excited
That's awesome.
to be doing this for so long, doing it efficiently. But before I even got started, my parents used to build custom homes back in the day.
Okay.
So, coming into it, one of the lenders said, "Hey, if you guys want to get a advantage on the market, you might want to get your real estate license." So long story short, I already had, I used to prepare taxes.
Okay.
Worked at Liberty Tax.
Okay.
So, that's where I got a little bit of my financial, start from. So I understood tax returns, and I felt that real estate wasn't going to be too different, just really catering to that client. And I already knew about real estate itself just because I was around it my entire childhood.
You grew up around it in osmosis. And a lot of folks think there's no way to learn through osmosis. But if you're around it all the time, especially if it's something that intrigues you, you're going to start absorbing some of the things that are around you. So you growing up in it, that's a pretty cool way to get indoctrinated in it. One thing that struck me super by surprise and kind of I was in awe is the fact that you are pretty young and doing what you're doing.
So when I got started in real estate, I was 21.
Okay.
Or I just turned 22, but I was 21 when I was taking the classes. So I just turned 31 in July.
That's awesome.
So yeah, and a lot of times it did surprise a lot of people, especially with my numbers when I was getting started. Cause I'm super competitive, and that's one of the things I've always, pushed for my agents. You got to want it. You got to have to want to succeed more than anything. Like
Absolutely.
there's a great saying, Thompson, what is his name? Chris Thompson, great motivational speaker. When I was 19 years old, I heard him for the first time. And he said, man, the Guru story. You heard about the Guru story?
Oh, you're talking about Eric Thomas. Eric Thomas. Okay, yes. And you know what? You just gave me chills because I do know exactly what you're talking about. Go ahead.
So he told me.
Tell us that story, please.
So there's a lot of little pieces in our lives that really inspire us. Conversations, motivational speakers. That was one where I saw that video on YouTube. Like right now it's all pixelized. So
yes.
You can't even see like a clear version of it, but he was talking to a classroom. He was talking to this classroom. He ended up talking about, man, when people want to succeed, but they just don't want it bad enough.
Absolutely.
So he started going into this illustration where he had talked to this guru. He went to one of the workshops, and the guru said, if you want to be successful, meet me at the beach, 4 a.m. He's like, man, I want to make money. He's like, I'm not trying to to go swimming. I want to make money. I want to know how to make money. So the guru shows up. He shows up. He's like, man, this guru's crazy. So the guru goes into the water. He said, all right, come out here. And then he's like, okay, cool. He started going knee deep. And he started talking about it. He's like, man, he was already questioning that.
Yeah.
Before the guru even gave him his aha moment, he said, all right, cool. Come a little further. Started going right to his mouth. The guru grabs him and puts him underwater. And he held him under until he was about to pass out.
Yep.
And then right before he was about to pass out, the guru brings him up. And then he asked him, he's like, what's the one thing that you wanted more than anything? And he's all like, he asked the students and everything. He's all like, well, I wanted to breathe. He's okay, until you want to succeed more than you want to breathe, you'll be successful.
Amen. And Martin, that is so cool that the stem of where that came from and you seen that long ago. Same here. I saw it for the first time probably 12 years ago, and it changed my perception. And to be honest, I had heard that same philosophy, that same story from a coach in high school, my senior year in high school. And at that point in time, I can't say I didn't take it seriously, but I didn't apply it as heavily as we do now today. And I actually show my students, my loan officers, that same video quite often. Because it is true. It's 100% true. When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, you will be successful.
100%.
I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And it's a logic and concept that most don't get, most will never get, but the ones that do, I think, find that not only do they reach where they're trying to get to, but they also want to encourage others to do the same.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I can't say it's lonely at the top because there's plenty of us here and we want more.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I was thinking about this and looking at San Antonio as a whole, lenders, realtors, people in title, insurance agents. Let me ask you a question. Why is there more millionaires that are loan officers than real estate agents that are millionaires?
Honestly, I would have to say, you want me to be super transparent?
Transparent.
Here we go.
That's
That's damn right. I love it. I believe that easy money allows you to spend it frivolously. And the type of persona that goes into real estate, and I can't speak broadly, but I'm just kind of giving a concept. I believe that most realtors came from the restaurant business. They came from car sales. They came from something other than a financial background. So they have not seen how others spend their money. Some folks that are in real estate actually have had a good mentor. Given your situation, your parents were builders. They had to keep their money straight, right? Or else the well runs dry and you can't move on to the next project.
Exactly.
Whereas I think on the lending side, there just happens to be a different type of person that joins that does have a financial background. Now, I'm not saying all, what I found is a lot of mortgage loan officers don't have their shit together.
Oh,
man.
yeah. That I know too.
Yeah, a lot of them have their debt, things of that nature. But like you said, more are successful financially, even though they're not closing a ton of volume or things like that. I think it's at the time that they do start making the money, they know what to do with it.
Exactly.
In addition to, I'm not going to say it's not difficult for a realtor. It's tough. My wife's a realtor. She flips properties. It's tough. Yeah. But as a loan officer, historically, we make less than realtors do. So we've got to do double the marketing, double the meetings, double the everything to just break even to what a realtor makes.
So let me ask you this. Do you think because it's W-2 and 1099, there's a big disconnect there?
I do. That's a great point that I have not considered. And it makes perfect sense because technically you as a realtor are self-employed by nature.
Yeah.
On our side, you're 100% correct. W-2. Taxes are being taken. That's not something that we worry about, things of that nature. So they only spend, even if there's somebody that spends it all, can only spend so much because the taxes are already gone.
Exactly.
Whereas real estate, you've got a plan. You've got to budget. You've got to make sure that at the end of this year, I made $100,000, 33,000 of it is going to Uncle Sam.
Exactly.
But if I don't have it, that rolls to the next year. And now I got a payment plan. And then everything is just compiling. That's a great point, man.
And the reason I bring this up is because I feel that as a team lead, as a broker, as someone that's going to be influential in a lot of these real estate agents' lives, I feel like they have to have those hard conversations because a lot of times it's all about the goodness. Right?
Yeah,
it's all about, all right, cool. Yeah, good job. You close that one big deal.
Yep.
And then you see them driving an exotic car the next day, buying Rolex. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, that's great.
That's a $2,000 car payment. You could put that in properties.
Exactly. Yes. And two, like, I'm super frugal. And most of the people that truly know me, they know me that, like, if I'm not buying an investment property, if I'm not buying something of value, I'm not buying it.
Right.
Period.
Right.
I still ask for discounts everywhere I go.
Me too.
Right?
Me too. I'm like, give me a penny off to feel like I won.
So that's something that I've been questioning. Yesterday I had one of my coaching calls, and he's hey, let me take a look at your profit and loss statement. So I picked up QuickBook and I said, oh shit, I lost out $20,000 last month.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, what about this month? I was like, oh no, this month I'm on the green. But when you don't keep track of it, and I think a lot of times as real estate agents, we get those checks, and we got all these deals closing and everything, but we have money going out just as quick.
Sure.
So we, of course, we have to pay for a lot of our extra expenses, especially team
marketing, the leads that are coming in, all the infrastructure, the lights, the leases. I mean, we can go on. You're exactly right. Keep going.
So I was thinking about it. I was like, man, how many times do we really want to wait till the end of the year to actually see, okay, how profitable are we? So that's one thing I started getting challenged on, and I want to really keep a closer eye to that. And that it goes to the question is like, why are more, in my opinion, if I looked at, the broad band of loan officers and real estate agents here in San Antonio, I could probably name about that are doing super well, more than 10 loan officers in San Antonio that are, doing well over $1 million net.
Right.
And a lot of realtors, you could gross,
right,
but after expenses, what are you really taking home?
Correct.
So,
and are you aware of that concept of business P&L, making sure that you're because as a realtor individually, regardless if you're a team lead or a head of your group, even if you're an individual agent, you should have your own profit and loss statement.
Correct.
You should have an expense report knowing what next month is going to bring and where my break-even point is and all of those things that a business owner needs to have, right?
Yeah, you're exactly right. So, and that's one thing I remember one time they asked me, and that was the last time they asked me to go on the panel for NAREP. So I
a little too honest, huh?
So, and that's kind of the thing about me. And there's a lot of people that be like, man, can I cuss in this?
Fuck yeah.
Okay, cool. So they're like, damn, Martin's an asshole. And then one of my other friends defended me. He's like, yeah, but he's an honest asshole. Like he really does care because he comes out of like the goodness of the heart. Like if I see that you're broke, all right, cool. Meet me at the office. Let's structure this. Let's get you some money in your pocket. Like
absolutely.
And two, like I have a ton of stories where I've done that. But the one thing that I do see quite often is that, well, going back to my story with NAREP. So we were in a panel. AJ was there too, and he was on the panel. He was sitting right next to me, and then he just kept looking at me. He's like, "I'm already calm down," like tapping me on the leg. And I was telling him, I was like, "Hey, you realtors, you guys making money? Give back to your community.
Right?
You guys are making money. Count the money.
Mm-hmm.
We're gross." Mm-hmm. And a lot of time, like people approach me. I needed to hear that. And I get, Johnny Leha was also on the panel. Every time like we talk, he's all, count that money. It's because a lot of times realtors don't count it.
No, you're absolutely correct. They're not used to having it.
Exactly.
And I think what has happened, which we're going to get into that here in a bit, but I love the train in which we're rolling on now. But I don't believe realtors get the concept that you are self-employed.
Correct.
They get into this, and for the last, I'll say 10 years, it's been an easy market.
Oh, yeah.
And what I mean by that is anyone that jumped into real estate could do a deal.
Yeah.
Could do a deal one a month at least, right? Now we're getting into a market where it's a little bit more difficult.
Yep.
You're having to learn how to sell again. You're learning how to educate customers again, things of that nature. But the other side of that is making sure your finances are in order, because at the end of the day, that money can stop coming in right away. Quick, fast, in a hurry.
Oh, yeah. And
then all of a sudden, you're screaming out, the market is going down. Meanwhile, we're thriving. We're ahead of the game. It's opportunity. It's being ahead of the game, and keeping your finances in check. And back to your asking if you could cuss, I think it's always okay to curse.
Okay.
because it's about intent and meaning behind the word. I think that things are changing when it comes to that. I think it's okay, time and a place for that. But if you're calling someone an asshole versus you're trying to create a narrative and painting a picture, that gives impact to the word. It gives validity to the situation. I'm totally fine with that.
No, I'm glad.
And then the other thing that you had mentioned that I really appreciate is you said, I jumped on the call with my coach. I personally have a coach. AJ has a coach. Neffy, previous guest, has a coach. What I'm finding, common denominator, is we've all got coaches. We've all invested in ourselves to become better. We did not, regardless of how much money we make, how successful we are, we still believe we can do better.
Exactly.
And we're not just looking to ourselves to do it. We seek help.
Exactly.
And I think that is kind of a calling to all. If you're in the position where you think you got to the level where you're successful, and you don't have a coach, grab a coach, and I think you're going to find that you may be able to level up and level up and level up to places that you never thought you could be.
So because a lot of realtors and a lot of lenders are watching this or will watch it, what are the 3 big things that you think that you got to look into for your coach?
I think you need to make sure that you check around for people that they also have coached, number 1. Don't be scared to do that. It's just kind of like vetting companies. If you're looking to go to a company, call the people that are currently there. Chances are they're going to be the most honest about it. I also look to see if that person can handle me. I've had my coach for several years now. And my first and second coach, they couldn't handle me. I'm all over the place. But this one, she holds me accountable. And she's kind of able to keep up with the shaking and moving that I do, because I do a lot of, I don't know if you're playing like video games, I hit the B button a lot. It's just, you've always got to constantly be adapting, evolving, changing, and rolling with the flow sometimes, because the plan that you set out is not always the path that it's going to end up in the end because of what happens. And what I found with previous coaches is that they wanted to stick to their agenda was. Whereas my coach now, she kind of goes with what I need at the time. So I love that. And let's see, third thing, the cost. At the end of the day, money does matter. And if you're charging me thousands of dollars, I better get thousands of dollars in value. If you're not charging, I mean, if it's reasonable, okay, I understand. But at the same time, you get what you pay for.
Exactly. So for the newer agents or newer LOs that are in the market, what kind of little advice would you say? Okay, cost effective. They might not have an extra $2,000, $3,000 that they can pay towards coaching. What's another option that you think they might have?
I would say go to your mentor. Go to your mentor, because for me, I am always willing to chop any bill that someone in my office has that is willing to invest in themselves. Why? Because when I was coming up in the business, coming through the ranks, I did not have a mentor that said, hey, I will contribute towards your success. It was all me. So it was 100% investment in myself. And it was a gamble every single time because I'm a wild man. But at the end of the day, it paid off.
Yeah.
So I know that if somebody here under my mentorship and leadership would like to take the risk in investing in themselves, I want to reward them by chopping that in half.
That's awesome.
That's just kind of what I do.
I like that. Yesterday, I was talking to my coach. I had my coaching call yesterday, and I give him a lot of shit.
Yeah,
you know? and
you have to.
his thing. He's already well off. Like, he doesn't have to work another day of his life if he didn't want to, but he still does it because he loves what he does.
Of course.
And yesterday, I was telling him, I was like, why do you wake up at 12 o'clock in the afternoon? Mm-hmm. He's like, most of my clients, they don't start calling me until like 5 o'clock. So realistically, the only person that wants to talk to me at 8 o'clock in the morning is you. Right?
Prima donna.
I know. No. But I said, no, it's just, like that's just me, because I get started my day at 5:30, and by noon I'm already done. I'm already like tuned out. It's like just a little of the extra stuff.
Yeah.
So he's all, and he takes a minute, and he's all like, man, you're the only person. And this is where like you have to have that relationship with that mentor, as you shared. And he's like, you're the only person that will make me feel bad. Everybody else would give two shits about.
Yeah.
But you're the only person that I would actually feel bad. And then, I had a rebuttal to that. I was because people will approach you to see how much they could take from you. I don't need a thing from you other than your friendship.
Yeah.
And that made it, him cry. And realistically, there's going to be people that are going to want to invest in people the right way just because it's out of the goodness of their heart.
Right.
There's a lot of people that do it for the wrong reasons.
I
too.
agree 100% with that.
So
yeah, ulterior motives, 100% can skew not only the relationship, but also your bigger concept of what you're trying to build, because the intention behind that was already skewed from the get-go. And as I grew as a mentor into this leadership position, my purpose changed. My purpose evolved into, I can't say I came from nothing, but we were not wealthy, nothing like that. My parents were great parents. Being where I am now, my life has changed. It's opened doors. I'm in a position in life where I thought I never would be. And to be able to see the first mentee of mine get to that level, which Matt Stansberry,
yep.
It is the most rewarding thing that I have experienced thus far.
Yeah.
So that money, that monetary thing that I can go and buy something that gives me that brief amount of endorphins or whatever the hell that's called. It doesn't match the feeling that I get to see every day when he comes in here ready to bust ass going, let's go.
And he's ready to
What's
crush it.
next? Yes.
I love that.
And I want to do that with all of these guys and gals. It's tough when they don't want it as bad as I want it.
Yep.
But only time will tell in that.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel you. I have this conversation all the time. Like I'll bring it up with my team. I said, sometimes I feel like I want it more than you do.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell them, I was like, man, I really want you guys to succeed. And I'm pretty sure you're the same way, just as me. If they fail, you would probably take it more personal than they would.
Absolutely.
Because you felt
it's a reflection. Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
A reflection.
So that's like always been my thing. I was like, hey, look, we got to meet up at 8:00 in the morning so that we can get like a little bit of extra time together. Let's do it.
And one thing that I do practice, and it's been for a little while now, is when I have my one-on-ones with the individual loan officers, I give them a scale from 1 to 10 and say, how much or how few do you want me to push you? A 10 means I'm on your ass. White on rice, stink on shit. 1, you probably shouldn't be here. And then 5, we'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
But I totally get it. You don't want to be bugged, things of that nature. So I paint the picture of what the numbers mean.
I like that.
And then it's like, hey guys, if you tell me a 10, I'm on your ass. So there's very few people that tell me 10 because I paint it as, I don't really want to be a 10.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm not a micromanager. I want to give you concepts, tools, motivation, advice when it's necessary, and show you the path. Because like I normally say is, I don't want you to step on the same landmines I did.
Exactly.
If I can save you that blown off foot there, it'll help you go a little bit further than I did.
So I had when the interest rates started going up, people started, jumping out of their contracts, and just all these cancellations happening. I had about 3 of my agents that approached me and said, yeah, I don't know if real estate is right for me. And I told them this is temporary, but we are getting that. I'm pretty sure like, you and I, we've probably failed more in different avenues of this business than most of the LOs and loan officers that are in the business right now. And
I will tell you, and you can attest, I've failed more than I've succeeded.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But no one sees the failure. You only see the success.
Exactly.
So yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So no, and I really did want you to chime in because I feel that a lot of people, they haven't lost enough.
Man, that's a good point. God, that's a good
They
point.
haven't lost enough. I remember, so funny story. I quit my job. I was a bartender right when I transitioned into real estate, and I had 7 in escrow.
Okay.
At the time, I had them all under contract. I put them all with the same LO. The LO took off. He went on a cruise. He said, "Oh, your files are good. They're all in underwriting. They're already submitted to USDA," because I was doing a lot of first time home buyers at the time. And no, they were all
Shit.
They
Shit
were all
show.
forgotten,
Yeah.
right? He was thinking of that vacation more. He was thinking of the clients. So I was dead broke. I quit. I had a baby already. I had just bought a new house, and I think it gets to that low point where you have to borrow money.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel
I've
like
been there. I've been there.
Yeah, it happens, but it's crazy. I had to borrow $300.
Okay.
But
Hey guys, what's up? It's your host, Mark Jones. I just wanted to let you know that we had some technical difficulties with the remainder of the episode's audio. But the good thing is we do have a backup that we were able to lace into this track, and hopefully you guys will continue because you've made it this far. So please make sure to like, subscribe, and share with a friend because you never know who would need some of this information that we're discussing. Thanks again and enjoy.
That was the difference between today and tomorrow.
Yeah, and two, I was really big into like collecting Jordans and stuff. I sold out all my collections, and I didn't have as many as a lot of others that might have, but I had to. Let's just say when I moved out of my parents' house,
Yeah.
I had to take 3 trips.
Wow, that's a lot of shoes.
quite a few, but realistically, that you had to make those sacrifices, and it goes back into the whole failure. I go back and think about that. I was like, man. I had all my eggs in that one basket.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he wasn't able to deliver. So, I lost a couple of deals because of that. But, man, I felt like I was on top of the world because when you write those contracts, that is your high. For a lot of the newer agents, that is your high. I got it under contract, and you're over here trying to take care of it as if it's your baby. And then when you see that, hey, it's not going to work out, or, bad promises or just bad,
Bad expectations. Not doing your homework up front, making sure that you do have a secure deal. To all of you lenders out there that are giving pre-approvals without the documents, he's talking about this.
Yeah. and two, like I'm not someone that's going to micromanage a lot of our realtors. Whoever you want to use, you don't have to use my people.
Right.
And I know that 100% because the same way I have relationships, you're going to have relationships.
Yeah.
And just but I'll tell them they get one chance.
Right.
They get one chance. If they screw it up, right, they're blacklisted in my.
Because at the end of the day, it's still your name on this stuff.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I feel the same way about
100%. And two, I still have the rule of thumb. 20% to about 30%. Sorry,
No.
20% of deals they fall through. It's unfortunate. Financing, loss of job, couple said, going through marital.
It's inevitable. That's right. Don't count your chickens before they hatch because we're in real estate. Yeah. Anything can happen.
So I let them know that. And two, a lot of times we do have to get to the point where we could understand from failures and we got to make sure that we can improve and be like, all right, I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah.
But that's where having that mentor be like, okay, cool. I know you want to invest thousands of dollars on Zillow, but maybe you should really build that strong foundation for your business. Get your vendors list. Get your sphere of influence up. Understand product with the builder. Have a relationship with them. And then at that point, if you feel like none of that works, then start outsourcing and see about how those people are going to answer you, or if you're able to get that trust with them right off the bat, or be the 100th realtor that they spoke to.
It's true.
That's going to be another.
And I think kind of what you're talking about is making sure that your ducks are in a row if you set out for something. And what I mean by that, and I'll give you an example. I have a loan officer that has not been producing as a loan officer for a little while, but he's getting back into it. And he was a me back in the day. I mean, very, very smart. Very great loan officer. His wife took over his book of business and has been crushing it. I've been mentoring her for the last 2 years. She's doing fantastic. As he got better mentally, he jumped into doing TikTok videos.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
I think I saw him.
And very, very consistently has put out fantastic content. And it goes to the story of consistency, but at the same time, what I'm trying to articulate is making sure that you have a system in place for when what you set out to do actually works.
Yeah.
And what happened with Shane Jones, that mortgage dude, is about a week ago, he went through the roof. I think the word that the millennials and the Gen X, whatever, use is called viral.
There you go.
He went viral.
That's awesome.
And we were ready. not only ready, but we had the systems in place. I utilized some of the things that I have deployed in Review My Mortgage to this side. He was able to bring in 3,500 leads, long form leads, in the last 72 hours. I'm not even joking.
That's crazy.
So we use that to parlay into the systems, distribute. It's like, how do we handle all this? No problem. I've got you covered.
That's awesome.
And it was a really good feeling that him not even being prepared to do loans and being able to embrace what he had actually accomplished because he was consistent. And his wife was like, and still is like, oh my God, what are we doing? But she does have full trust in me to have their back and know exactly what to do. They're kicking tail.
Yeah.
And we've spent the last 72 hours between me, her, Matt, and a couple of other loan officers reaching out to these people, letting them know exactly who we are, getting their applications, giving them proper expectations.
Awesome.
But I think the idea behind that and the point of that story is you've got to think a little bit further down the road of, if you buy Zillow leads, how are you going to handle them?
Yeah.
What's the point of buying them if you don't know how to handle them? If you don't know how to follow them, if you don't have the structure in place, you're just wasting money. Are you here to get clout or to get name recognition? Or are you here to make money, to turn that money into the dreams that you hopefully once had and still do? So yeah, that just wanted to kind of give that illustration, because it's real life. Those things can happen. You never know when they're going to happen, especially when you're consistent with it. And I hope that when it does, you're prepared.
Yeah, and too, I'm glad that you bring him up, because I started seeing him all over social media. He was rocking and rolling. I would watch YouTube videos. My sons watch the shorts.
Yeah, shorts.
And he was coming up. I was like, loan officer. And it's some funny stuff.
He's got great content. Yeah. And he's still doing it. He'll be back here on Friday. He took a trip to get some stuff done, but we're excited to have him back.
That's awesome.
I think it is one of those things that, as a leader, as a mentor, I'm so proud of him.
That's awesome.
You know, and this is somebody that, in my opinion, was better than me at loans back in the day type situation. He had a situation happen where he couldn't. He empowered his wife. She grabbed it by the reins.
That's awesome.
And 2 years later, he said, I'm getting back to good, but this is what I can contribute. Didn't work for a little while, but he didn't care. He kept going.
That's awesome.
And then one day, boom, it flipped. And by all means, there's fruits on that tree.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love those success stories.
Yeah. So what else can we get into before we... You know what? I want to know you and how you built your team, because I think a lot of folks out there believe that you should have a team in structure, or the reason why you're not doing well is because you need more people on your team. And I actually showed this to someone yesterday, and it was the Gary Vee video talking about it's not a numbers game, it's a talent game.
Correct.
And you should only add more people to your team when whatever you're doing is working.
Yeah.
Not to fix a situation.
No, and I get that too. So I think I'll be the person that felt the most at building the team. So I've already gone through about 4 teams.
Yeah, likewise.
So I built it up, and then everybody left. I built it up again, and they left. I built it up again, and they left. And the thing, I guess, I've never burned any of those bridges. They know that they could always come back, but I'm glad that they're doing well because they're providing for their family. And at the end of the day, I'm not a hater. No. And two, there's a lot of people that would be like, man, I poured into this person, then they went off to a different I was like, I get that. So what I ended up started doing, and I'm gonna put a little plug in for real. So before I switched, I was gonna open up my own brokerage. Okay. I was gonna do the same thing AJ did,
right?
Because I was just tired of I would pour into a lot of these agents, and they would be rock stars, and they're still rock stars right now. So shout out to everybody that was on my team that's killing it right now. But I saw that at every moment there's always going to be that one inspiring agent, because I'm very selective on who I bring on, that they're going to want to beat me, and I'm cool with that. I'm absolutely cool. If they could surpass me, even better. Yeah. Right? Shout out to Adam Velasco. He has a great team. He's killing it right now. I'm super proud of him. Yeah. But I knew he was inspired to do better, and he was going to leave the nest, and he was going to go do his thing. I understood that.
Yeah.
but I understood that before I even hired him. So the one thing that I started seeing is that no matter where I'm at, they're gonna be approached by other people, and they're gonna want to leave, and they're gonna go do their own thing. So the one thing that I did really like about real brokerage is that even if I were able to get just one little percent, just a little 1%, I'm cool with that. And I have this conversation with my best friend all the time. He's at Keller Williams Heritage. Shout out to Richard Rodriguez. But but I would tell him all the time. I said, man, how many people have I poured into? Yeah. In the 9 years that I've been in real estate, I was eventually they're going to want to do their own thing. But the cool thing about real brokerage, in my opinion, is that when we hire producing agents, the other thing that I really like about it is that we can still retain them. Yeah. They don't have to be on my team, but they're still on my team. We're going to make sure they're taken care of.
That's a cool concept because it does promote inherently folks to advance. Exactly. And do their own thing. Whereas I will tell you, coming up in this industry, my first mentor kind of wanted to keep the wool over my eyes. You produce, you're a great producer, go do what you do. Meanwhile, I'm paying for things out of my pocket. I'm paying for my team members out of my pocket when I know damn well there's more meat on that bone. And I'm not talking about meat on the bone for me to go in my pocket, but if I want to wrap my truck, if I want to do things like that to bring in more, because I do put my money where my mouth is, I need some help. Yeah. And I had to actually seek the knowledge behind the scenes from other people. Yeah. And it was sad to find out that that's what his intentions were versus other mentors that I've met and who I'm becoming is that person that teaches you the back end. I'm going to show you what goes into it, how much we make from it, where that money gets distributed, and there's only so much of the pie that can be split. Exactly. Make it make sense type of situation, but I'm not here to take your money. I'm here to show you how to make more money. Yeah. Within the parameters of what we have. And that promotes nothing but that from day one. Yeah. That's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, and that's realistically for me, I felt that if we're able to just keep inspiring and developing a lot of these agents, they're eventually going to pay it forward. Yeah. And
at least you hope so. Yeah. And if not, at least your intentions are there.
You know what's cool? I love seeing this in our office. Like we don't have a super nice office, but it's still home for us, right? And the one thing I like is whenever we would welcome in a new agent, new to the industry or new from a different brokerage, they'd be like, come on, man, let's go over here. Or, hey, let's go check out this builder. Let's get some context out there. Oh, this is what I'm doing with this deal. This is how I got the deal. So a lot of the information is free, but a lot of people don't want to share it. Right. And my wife tells me all the time, and she hates it. She's all like, why do you tell everybody everything that you're doing? And I tell them, I said, well, 90% of the time they're not going to do it. Right.
That's correct.
But the information is there. They want to be successful. These are the things that you got to do. You got to get your hands dirty. You got to make a ton of calls. You got to make sure you follow up, and you got to make sure you have that servant's heart. So that way, it's going to just continue paying it forward.
Absolutely. And I have that same mindset. It's very refreshing to hear every single guest that I've had on thus far has damn near the same mindset as I do. And I think that is, that speaks volumes to where the person is and how they got there. I think that you were talking about, geez, what did you just mention right now?
Paying it forward or the...
I just went blank. Paying it forward.
Doing the work.
Compartmentalizing. So the folks that I believe that don't want to share what they've got, where they've got, almost I have to believe that person doesn't know how they truly got to where they are. Sure. It was an accident. It was a fluke. It was something that they believe they can't go and recreate themselves. Whereas folks like you and I, like you said, 90% of the people that we're giving all of these nuggets to, here it is. This is the blueprint. 90% aren't going to do it. Another 5% can't do it, even if they wanted to. And the other 5%, that's fantastic. One day we're going to be collaborating on something.
Oh yeah.
And if they mention, you know what, Martin's interview with Mark was the reason why I got off my ass and changed my mindset. That game changer.
Yeah.
In here, that's I think that's a cool feeling and pays dividends more than money does.
And this is something too. I was thinking about. I was like, man, okay, cool. I'm gonna get in this podcast. I want to make sure I do bring this up. Well, one of the things that I know that's super impactful is having impactful conversations.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you see all the people that, they're happy hour junkies. They go to every happy hour. They go to 4 a week.
Mm-hmm.
And they're having the same conversation. But whenever I go to any type of happy hour, I want to be impactful. Mm-hmm. I want to make sure when I go in there, I'm going in there with purpose, right? But I have a feeling like a lot of that gets lost in translations.
Yeah, big time.
So anytime I meet someone, I want to make sure that they remember for whatever reason, the conversation we had.
And I think that motive. What is your motive for that? Are you going to these happy hours to get business? Are you going to relax? Are you going to shoot the shit? What is your intention of that? Because I really don't even do that anymore. But if I do, you're exactly right. Yeah. This conversation is going to be worth it, and I'm going to make sure it's worth it. Yeah. If that's the case, I'm going to extract as much benefits, nuggets from that other person as I possibly can. But at the same time, I'm going to give as much as I possibly can in that same hour, 2 hours, whatever it is that we're in there. And hopefully people start to get that concept versus the other, because you're going to find yourself left behind and in the same place that you are over and over and over.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I know this is a podcast. I'm kind of interviewing you.
No, I want
to know what you know.
I really like this.
At what point do you feel that the conversation is not going to go anywhere and it's time to walk away? With relationships.
That's a great. I have, and I know this sounds tough, but I've fired many agents. I've fired many. I can't say I've fired many employees because I haven't. My goal is either to coach them up or coach them out. I believe that you get one shot. Whatever is happening in the situation, whether it's a conversation, a meeting, what have you. But the second time that someone wastes my time like that, you're done. I don't have time to waste. So therefore, if we're going to do this same thing over and over, and you're not going to bring to the table what you said you were, which is value. We're all seeking value in some way, shape, or form. If you're not going to bring that to the table, I don't have time for you. Now, I'm not going to be the person that goes out there and blasts this person. They're all talk. They want the facade on social media, blah blah blah. But it's just not worth my time.
Yeah.
Because I do believe that time is the most valuable thing that we have in this world, and it can't be wasted. Not it shouldn't be wasted. It can't be wasted. I've had, as a matter of fact, I put a post out maybe a week ago, and I was scrolling through social media and found another friend from high school had passed away. And it's just one of those things that you go, man, life is so short in the grand scheme of things, and you never know when it's going to happen. Why do people get caught in all of the flash and things that really don't matter when they talk about moving the needle? They talk about growing. They talk about big things and what they want to accomplish. Go do it. Go start. Go fail. But back to your question, I do give everybody a chance. I'm too soft. I have walked out of meetings before because it just was not
aligned with what you
it was not intended. It was not what they set out to be, and I have no problem with that if I don't know you already. Yeah. If I do know you already, I'm kind of an outspoken person. I'll bring the conversation to light and say, hey, this was intended for this. Can we get to that? I'm totally fine to shoot the shit. I'm a pretty good shit shooter, but I need to get some value.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel, realistically, I think you get the robocalls probably more than I do. How many times people want to use And two, that's time suckers in my opinion.
Absolutely.
And I started walking away from conversations. Mm-hmm. Whenever I didn't really feel like it was in line with what I'm doing, I had to get myself out of those environments too.
Right.
So yeah, I'm glad that we share that same thing.
Absolutely. I mean, you are aware of your time.
Oh yeah.
Just because they're not doesn't mean that you stopping the conversation or you stopping that moving forward is rude. Honestly, I don't care how they view it.
Yeah.
This was the intent. The intentions were not met. Therefore, what are we doing?
Yeah.
In the end.
But and that's why I think it's super powerful whenever you do have those relationships with the individual where they know shit goes down.
Yeah.
I got your back.
Yeah.
Right. And I tell that with every person that I'm either in business with, I'm in a relationship with, and they know that they could always count on me. But that love, you can't share it with everybody because it's going to be taken for granted.
Oh, absolutely. So and you'll be bled dry. I mean, it'll get sucked away from you.
Yeah.
And it does happen. Us in our position, we get tired, man.
Oh, 100%. But I can tell you, and the list will go along for all the people that know if they have me on their corner, they know for sure I'll go to war with anybody.
That's right.
And it's funny because I say this about real brokerage because I think in my head and I just go to a different world, right? So when I had the interview with real brokerage, because I was interviewing different brokers, right? I knew I was going to leave the company I was with at the time. And when I decided to make that switch, I was talking to the CEO of the company, and the CEO, Tamir, he's all, if the agent doesn't produce, we'll send their license back to whatever organization, whatever commission. Okay, great. That's aligned with what I believe in. Okay, cool. And he's all like, but what we're trying to do is we're trying to attract a lot of the bigger agents, a lot of the producing agents. Like, granted, they back in quarter two, they sent back 400 licenses for non-producing agents through a growing company, right?
Yeah.
So all right, cool. Well, we got 6,000 agents. All right, see you later to almost 10%, 400. So for that. But the idea behind it is that we don't need dead weight, right?
No.
And then two, if you're saying that you're going to go to war with them, they got to have your back just as much. They got to want it as much as you do, right?
And in addition, what do you bring to the table when we're going to war?
Exactly.
You can't come to a gunfight with a spoon.
And this is so we I like doing like the table talks.
Yeah.
Whenever they have like a room full of realtors. And I use the Spartan, and I always tell it to all of my agents that they love it. Because I said, man, we're Spartan warriors, right? We're not showing up to the war empty-handed.
Right.
And there's that scene with Leonidas when he comes up to Achilles, and Achilles has gardeners, potters, and all that. And Leonidas showed him exactly who he showed up with, his warriors.
Right.
I love that.
That's awesome.
I love that.
Yeah.
I like, man, we're going to go out there and we're going to kill it. We're not going to be just like everyone else, the other statistics, we want it back.
Now, one thing that I've also found that a lot of folks, I think, misconceive or misperceive is leaders, team leaders, mentors. I don't think that they will ever, true leaders, mentors, will ever get too big to have to roll their sleeves back up when the time calls for it.
100%.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Recently, market is doing what it's doing. Everything's going down.
Yeah.
Mark, it's time to roll your sleeves up, start doing some loans again, brother.
Oh yeah.
No problem. That's how I got here. Let me go do what I do best again type situation. Now our numbers are freaking crushing it. So I'm throwing this podcast back on, and it's like it's time to have those intellectual conversations to give out to these people that are all wondering why, how, who, what's going on, all of those things that social media, the posts, the velour don't offer, because you can only get so much from somebody's profile. They want you to see what you're seeing.
Exactly.
If they're doing it intentionally.
Oh yeah, 100%. And then too, it shows that the goodness of your heart, right? Like I everybody has a lot of misconceptions of just individuals, but Facebook's only going to show one perception. But until you have that conversation,
Absolutely.
like that one agent at NAREP that's probably not even a realtor anymore that said that I was an asshole. Well, a lot of times they just got to really understand the logic, the failures, everything that you had to do in order to get to on that stage, right?
Absolutely.
Not saying, well, metaphorically and realistically,
Yeah.
it's a stage, it's a platform. But realistic, in my opinion, I personally do think that if we're able to get to the point where we can share our failures, share the passion that we have for the industry that we are in, that we will weed out a lot of people that are not as serious about this business.
Agreed.
This is our baby, as others. Yeah. But we'll also attract the people that are super interested, that has the servant's heart, that has the will-do attitude, that's going to be able to go out there, make us look good, provide well for their families, create that life balance. Mm-hmm. So now, those are the ones that we want.
Yeah, and I think it goes hand in hand with the whatever it takes mindset. I'm going to get to my end point by any means necessary, obviously within legalities,
of course,
being a good person. I'm not screwing everybody over, but I'm also not going to be outworked. And I think you've got that same mindset, and every other person that I've had here has that same mindset of, I don't care what challenge is in the way. How much time do I have to solve this challenge? Because I'm getting through it regardless. Nobody's going to stop me other than myself.
Exactly.
So, man, this is fan-freaking-tastic. There's been a lot in this thing. How long? JC, what are we at time-wise?
Almost an hour.
Wow, it flew by.
Wow.
This flew by. I thought it was like 15 minutes.
Yes, man. Okay, so going into what I called on you to do, which is let's talk about this market. What the hell is going on? What are you seeing out there? Because I believe that the media is misleading a lot of people, especially when it comes to a local market like San Antonio.
Yep.
You can't really give a broad depiction of what's happening when you're honing in on a local situation.
So from a local situation,
Mm-hmm.
I feel, and we just talked about going to war, right? We talked about making sure we have each other's back. So right now, there is a lot of scareness in the market,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I have, everyday conversations with a lot of my top sales professionals, a lot of my business partners. I have a company that, I have great relationships with out of Arizona.
Yep.
And, they're seeing it's a different market. That's more of a retirement market. It's more military. So we are still seeing quite a bit of activity. But what we are seeing is that we will start to go to 2019 market.
Okay.
A lot of times, a lot of the new agents that jumped into real estate when they were at home, when they're quarantining, they got their license. They didn't experience what 2019 was. Of course, they saw, real estate's always good.
Right.
They jumped into it. They made some good money last year, but now we got to roll up our sleeves and we got to get our hands dirty. So a lot of the everyday conversations, we used to be able to put any house on the market and multiple offers left and right. I was working with hedge funds that were working for my guaranteed buyout.
Yeah.
So there's quite a bit of we were projecting. We were going to that next level. There was nothing that was going to stop us. And then interest rates went up, and it did cause a big effect where now builders are starting to be a little more accommodating.
Yeah.
With closing costs, even working with outside lenders, which is great. We have a lot of relationships. Two, we don't want to take anything away from the relationships and the joint ventures that they have with other companies, but at the end of the day, right now, it's servicing the client.
Yeah.
And that's what I really like. We're getting back to the client actually matters now.
Yep.
It's not just another number.
I agree. And I think that the experts in our industry are rising to the top and pretty quickly, because you can't really come out with broad statements with today's consumer.
Yep.
Because they've got access to the internet right there, and always. They can jump on and see whatever you're saying is either bullshit or as a matter of fact.
Yep.
But I also think that the few scream the loudest, and what I mean by that is everybody's talking about this market being a crash. They're talking about the values are dropping, which that is absolutely not the truth. Our values are still staying consistent, not consistent with the last 2 years, because that was an unprecedented situation that we had. But if you are listing your home $100,000 more than what it's worth, expecting to get a bite on it, and after 2 weeks nothing happens, and you drop it down 50 grand, and still nothing happens, and then you drop it another 50 grand to where it's actually supposed to be.
What was the true value?
What was the true value?
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's this hyperinflated perception versus reality.
Correct. So I just had a conversation with one of my clients. I was going to get fired. So I'm human just like everybody else. I don't sell everything that I touch. I try to, but I don't.
Yeah.
So we were having the conversation, and she said, we had it originally listed at $725. We have it priced now at $699. I said, hey, right now the market is not as attractive as it was when we had originally had the conversation. So she had to get her house ready, so forth. So I said, they just had a $50,000 price reduction with one of the builders in the community. And not saying that the house that they're selling is identical to yours.
Right.
But I'm telling you that people are visual whenever they see it. So when you see a certain builder that was dropping the price, of course they want to sell the house, they want to move it just like anybody else. But that's our competition.
The market is speaking.
Exactly. And so we had the dialogue, and I said, but don't look at this as just it's a complete loss, because what she's planning on doing, she has a good head on her shoulder. And this is what we like pouring into our clients to start thinking like investors. I said, you have close to $300,000 of equity in your property, right? She could have done a number of things, but she really wanted to sell it, right? She could have done a HELOC, but interest rates were too high, or she could have done a cash out refi, pull that money out, keep it. But I said, look, if we were to sell it, you would walk away with $300,000. But now, because you took a discount of the $30,000, doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to lose out that $30,000. What that does is creates opportunity for the new investment property that you're going to buy.
That's true.
You are not going to get a full $30,000 discount.
Correct.
These houses are more affordable.
All relative, yeah.
But you're able to maybe get into 2 projects now compared to the one project that you were trying to get into. So,
and that's smart that you brought that to the table, because as a consumer, she didn't look at it that way. You, as a seasoned veteran, not only realtor, but also investor, you also have seen leverage and how that works. Immediately, you saw the opportunity there to present to her versus the obstacle.
Exactly.
If that makes sense.
Exactly. And 2, I said, look, unfortunately, I tried delivering more, but it's where the market is right now.
Right.
It's where we are in this time frame. And I kind of explained, it's like, have you ever had a rough patch? Right now, in real estate, we have a small rough patch, but it's not going to be forever.
Right.
The prices will eventually go up, but would you rather have one property appreciate at once, or would you rather have 2?
Right.
Or would you rather have 3?
Or would you rather 2019 actually go on the same trend that it was going to continue, and we would be talking about selling your home for $575 and not $6 something?
Yeah.
Right. I think we lose sight that we gained damn near 30% value year over year. So, yeah, that's a lot of money in a short period of time that you didn't do anything but pick the right one, I guess.
So this
and a lot of people go, yeah, I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, and 2, we got lucky, and I got some good friends. We got into some flips together, and the longer we waited to put the house on the market, the more money we made, right? And 2020 was just like
Same here.
So we're super excited. We bought at the right time,
and now I'm like, hurry up and finish that house.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. We got a few projects going on right now. I'm ready to just unload. But this is the thing that I told her, and for everybody listening, for right now, where this market is, it's going to be okay. Hire a professional that's going to have your best interest in mind, and 2, they will create that opportunity for you guys, and they will make sure that the process, at the end of the day, a lot of times people say it's all about the money. I honestly don't believe that. I feel that it's, in my opinion, I feel that we got to take care of people, but we also got to educate them of the reasoning behind it. Yes, we did have a 30% increase, but realistically, it's 5 to 8.
Yeah, I agree. So, and that 5 to 8 has been consistent for many years in our local market.
Yeah.
Don't look at some YouTube video and hear some guy talking about a crash, then come to find out he's talking about Los Angeles, California.
Yeah.
Totally different worlds.
Yeah, San Antonio is different. Now, we ended up pouring into the market a lot of new construction last year.
Mm-hmm.
I actually built 2 houses, and off those 2 houses, we made $60,000.
Yeah.
We didn't make a lot of money
But that's
in
still
the grand scheme of things. But that's just what appreciation happened, the cost of material happened. But right now, opportunity, right? I was talking to my dad. My dad's my construction manager. And he was all like, hey, if you want to build that duplex, shoot, I could build it for $170,000 now. Where originally it would have cost you $250,000.
Absolutely, yeah.
So here's the thing, guys. Opportunity. It's right here. Be ready. Right now is the perfect opportunity for you to be a buyer. You gotta contact my boy Mark Jones to get pre-approved, but you want to be ready. And when you're ready, you're gonna be able to achieve home ownership. And then 2, guess what? It's gonna be a domino effect. This is something you're gonna be able to pour into your kids. This is gonna be something you're gonna be able to pour into your friends, family. The idea of appreciation of 5% to 8%, that's something that we could really feel good about. Long term, 40, 20, 30%, that was too much.
I agree.
And we all felt the same way. We're like, oh shit, when's the bubble's gonna happen, right? But realistically, if you could just buy right now at this point, you're gonna thank yourself later. And 2, you marry the house, not the rate, right?
Amen to that. God, dog. So what he's talking about there is getting yourself in a good position where you have a good baseline. When we talk about baseline, that's the amount that you purchase the property for. And you can talk about stock, anything. What is your baseline? Regardless of what interest rates are, your baseline cannot change unless you're purchasing another property. And historically, the sooner you get in, the more you will make in the long run. Real estate is always going to be beneficial and a great investment, dependent upon how long you can hold on to it. I think that we've had a fantastic episode. I mean, blew my freaking mind. My guest knows his shit. We think very similarly and have for a little while. There's a reason why you're on the show. But I want to let people know that this is the time to be getting information from an expert. At the end of the day, we talked a little bit about the market. If you are out there digesting stuff, make sure it has to do with your local market. Real estate is always local, regardless. And then the other thing is invest in people. I think that is the best investment that you can actually make, in addition to property, is people. But the most important investment, just like with the most investment, with the most important thing, is time. You can't get more time back. And the highest level of investment should be in yourself. That being said, guys, I want to thank my guest. Martin, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for sharing what you did today. I really appreciate it. And I'm sure this is going to be something that maybe one day somebody listening will go, damn, that water and wanting to breathe, I had never heard that before. Martin put it in front of my face and through my ears, and it resonated and it gave me chills. And now I'm here. And that was X amount of years ago. And who knows where we'll be at that time, man.
That's awesome, man. Love that.
So that being said, guys, please make sure to share this, like it at the time when it comes out. You never know when somebody needs to hear this conversation. You just never know. All in all, make sure that you're crushing it.